You're watching Imagisport, your home for top-notch sports simulation action.
Wait a minute, Roger Elder takes the microphone here and says, wait. No. Here's what's going to happen here. Okay, Lobster Man, you want to get your hands on Kevin Linton? Well, guess what? You have a golden opportunity because Kevin Linton is in the building tonight, and he is going to be here. So guess what? You'll get to take him on, but you're going to have to take on Mr. Everything too. So look out, fans. We have a handicap match. Lobster Man's going to go up against both Mr. Everything and the OSWA World Heavyweight Champion, the Steamroller, Kevin Linton. There's finally a tag to Kevin Linton. There is not. Again, Mr. Everything is doing the dirty work. And so we have trailing. They're both in the same space. So guess what? Mr. Everything is going to be the one that's going to get it. And he's going to be the one that gets the finishing move, the utility takedown flying shoulder tackle for 11-35. So Linton cracks Lobster Man with the ref's not looking. Mr. Everything does that utility takedown, and let's see if it's effective. It is 35. Yes, it is. 1, 2, and 3. And just like that, the Blue Collar Mafia team, if you want to call it that, of Mr. Everything and Kevin Linton has defeated the Lobster Man.
Imagisport presents Old School Wrestling, featuring the stars of the Old School Wrestling Association. All OSWA matches are simulated using Face to the Mat from PLAAY Games. You can order your own copy of Face to the Mat along with various wrestler card sets by going to the PLAAY Games website at www.plaay.com. Now, let's go to the OSWA studios. Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Old School Wrestling here on Imagisport. I'm Derek Jones. Thank you for joining us again today as we count down the days towards initiation, the OSWA's first supercard, as you saw in the opener. Once again, the Steamroller, Kevin Linton, the OSWA World Heavyweight Champion, got the upper hand on the Lobster Man. This feud has been going on since day one here in the OSWA, and it's going to come to a head at initiation in our main event as those two will face off inside the steel cage with the OSWA World Heavyweight Championship on the line. But before we get to that, we have some matches here today on our Go Home show that will also have some initiation implications in our main event. It is going to be a 6-man tag team match today. On one side, we're going to have the Good Old Boys, the OSWA World Tag Team Champions, and their partner will be their good old buddy, Gaylord T. Goode, making his OSWA in-ring debut. On the other side of the ring, you will have the team that the Good Old Boys will face for the titles at initiation, Nick Kanicki and Dan Hammer of the Blue Collar Mafia. Their partner is the unlikely Roughneck Ron Cassidy. As you recall earlier, the commissioner forced Roughneck Ron and Nick Kanicki to team up in a tag team match, despite the fact that they are currently at each other's throats right now. But rumor has it that Roger Elder, the Blue Collar Mafia's appointed leader, has been in the back today trying to openly recruit Roughneck Ron to actually join the Blue Collar Mafia. Roger Elder says that he likes what he sees in Roughneck Ron and wants him to consider not toiling around in the mid-card anymore, but hanging around with winners and being main event material and giving him all other sorts of lines. Up to this point, Roughneck Ron's not really interested in that at all, but it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out here in the coming shows. So that's the 6-man tag team match for you as our main event. Also today, we have another tag team match. On one side of the ring, it's going to be Yefeni El Akid and his newest recruit in his anti-American crusade, Chief Wahoo. They will be taking on Yafeni's former tag team partner, the Chinese Bear Quang Choi, and his newest ally, Steve America. Now, the four of them are going to be involved in separate singles matches against each other at Initiation as well. You also see Crash Bradley as he tunes up for his big match against the Big Grabowski at Initiation. And then, of course, we'll also have our edition of the Ringside Lounge with Copacetic. And before we go off the air today, we will give you a rundown of the entire card for Initiation. But before we get to all of that, the big fish, Marlon Kimbrough, he is going to be in action. He's heading to the ring. So let's get down there and kick off this edition of Old School Wrestling. And our opening contest here on Old School Wrestling is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, already in the ring from Fife, Alabama. Weighing at 220 pounds, this is Fast Bobby Bernard. And his opponent approaching the ring at this time, he is from Mora, Minnesota. Weighing in at 285 pounds, this is the big fish. In a small pond, Mr. Marlon Kimbrough. Marlon Kimbrough, ready to go into action here today on Old School Wrestling, taking on the upstart Fast Bobby Bernard. Let's see what's going to happen in the pre-match. It is going to be a 4. That takes us a trip to Highlight Reel O. And we have an 11, so we're going to go to Highlight Reel P. And another 11 is going to take us over to Highlight Reel Q. And we have a 12 this time. The favored wrestler gets a choice new quality. Well, how about that? He is already strong and he is already heavy. Since he is strong, let's give him powerful as well. Pretty easy change there to do. We'll adjust the focusing here. There we go. All right, so we have that. Big Fish is now powerful for the foreseeable future. So we're going to get started, and we are underway. And we are looking first for the favorite quality. Neither one has favorites. So we're going to go to the quick quality. Fast Bobby is quick with a flying leg lariat, and he gets the first 2 points of the match. And he gets another quick point here for a Russian leg sweep. So Fast Bobby is off to a great start. But we have the cheat quality, and that is definitely going to the Big Fish. And so he's going to institute a foreign substance for 2 points to get back into it. And now we have the smart. Neither one is smart here. So now we're going to go to agile. That is Fast Bobby Bernard for another point with a flying headbutt. But now we go to the TV grade. That's going to go to Marlon Kimbrough. A head scissors is going to get him 1 point. Oh, back over to quick. That's Fast Bobby Bernard, and he gets another point with a jab. Now we go to the mean category. Fast Bobby is not mean, so we will flip the deck over and go to strong. Marlon Kimbrough is strong on any space, so 3 big points there for his standing surfboard. And we have a helped. We have a helped where we have a sneak attack. So who's going to come out with it? Wait a minute. It's the Big Grabowski. What on earth is Grabowski doing out here? He attacks Bobby Bernard. I thought Grabowski wasn't even supposed to be in the building, and we weren't even supposed to see him until the initiation show. Well, I guess that's not the case there. So now we're going to go to mean. Nobody is mean at this point. And signature move, but neither one scored, so we'll move on. We get another point for Big Fish's TV grade here with a toe hold. And so we're going to get another big boot, another TV grade there. And then we're going to go back to quick. Bernard's making a comeback with 2 points here. And this time it's going to be for a drop toe hold. So now the strong quality, but Fast Bobby's not strong. But we're going to go back to cheat, and guess who has the cheat quality? That's right, it is the Big Fish. 3 big points there for an illegal nerve pinch, and that's going to bring about a pin attempt, 11-43, because we do have the chip. There is 1, there is 2, and there is 3, as
Big Fish, I think, held the tights on that one, but he still got the win over Fast Bobby Bernard. It was a 3-count pinfall, and so he will get the Duke in our opening match. Let's go ahead and go to our post-match and go now to highlight reel letter X to see what's going to happen here before we go to break. And that's going to be a 23. Defeated wrestler livid after opponent makes belittling comments on TV. Increased the wrestler's grudge grade by 4 points. So Fast Bobby certainly not pleased with the outcome here. And he's going to get a grudge grade of 4. We'll see how that plays out in future shows. But with that in mind, Big Fish is your winner in our opening bout, and we will return with more old school wrestling right after this timeout.
So the Big Fish picks up the victory here on Old School Wrestling today. And what about the Big Grabowski coming back like that? Nobody expected him to be in the arena. So it appears that he is going to be rip-roaring and ready to go for his match against Crash Bradley. Speaking of Crash Bradley, he is next up in our lineup today. But before we get to that, speaking of Initiation, remember our main event in Initiation will be for the World Heavyweight Championship inside the steel cage. Kevin Linton will defend his world title against the Lobster Man. So let's go now to some pre-recorded comments from the challenger, the Lobster Man, Jeff Costa.
Kevin Linton. Kevin freaking Linton. The establishment recognizes you as the OSWA World Heavyweight Champion. The fans recognize you as the OSWA World Heavyweight Champion. I, however, do not. No, I recognize you as the OSWA's world-class dirtbag. You see, the only reason you have that title belt right now is because that little skinny twerp manager of yours, Roger Elder, and the rest of the blue-collar mafia keeps keeping it away from me. Oh, that's enough to make my blood boil. But you know what? You know what? That's okay. Because at Initiation, that's not going to happen anymore. You see, in Initiation, we're going to be inside the steel cage. Do you know what that means? I'll tell you what that means. That means that Roger Elder is not going to be able to lure me away from the ring like he did the last time we were one-on-one. That means that none of your blue-collar mafia cronies are going to come out there to help you. It's going to be just you and me, one against one. Finally, after all this time, I can get my hands around your scrawny neck. And when I do, I'm going to beat you down. I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to pin you 1, 2, 3 in the middle of that cage. And I will get what is rightfully mine. The OSWA's World Heavyweight Championship. Don't forget, Initiation is our very next episode in the OSWA series, and it is coming soon. You can only see it on Imagisport, so make sure you subscribe to the Imagisport YouTube channel and turn on your notifications so you will know when OSWA Initiation is posted. Now, let's get back to the ring for some more old school wrestling action.
And our next event here in Old School Wrestling is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, already in the ring, from Kent, England, weighing in at 235 pounds. This is the Duke of Whirl, Sir Douglas Marbury. And his opponent approaching the ring is from Commerce, Oklahoma, 265 pounds. This is Terry Crash Bradley. Crash Bradley, in a warm-up match before he meets the Big Grabowski at Initiation, on our next show. Let's see what the pre-match roll is. It is going to be a 3. That's going to take us to highlight reel O, which we have a 62. The commissioner comes out, and he makes a glowing TV statement about the wrestlers, which is going to reduce the grudge grades of both wrestlers and all Hotbox members by 2 points. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and do just that. Okay, we have all of the grudge grades changed for all of the wrestlers. So with that in mind, the commissioner, not sure why he's so happy this week, but he's been giving praise to all the wrestlers. So he goes back stage, and we're ready to start this matchup with the favorite category. We have Crash Bradley as a favorite on any square, so he will get 2 points for a body press scissors, and then we will go to the grudge grade. Crash Bradley wins there as well, 0 to -2, so there's 2 points there for a hair pull slam. And agile, Crash Bradley is agile on a circle. That's another point for him with a chicken wing. And then a TV grade, both of them have D TV grade, so that is going to go to the Duke of Whirl since he is the trailing wrestler at this point. And he's only going to get 1 point, however, for a vertical splash. And now we're going to go to quick, and that is going to be the Duke of Whirl as well. So he gets a point for a go behind takedown. Another TV grade, again, that's going to go to Duke of Whirl in the tiebreaker, a big boot for 1 point. Back to the favorite category, that's Crash Bradley again, and this time it's a D6 roll of 5 big points. And so that will be for a hammer jammer, whatever that might be, but we will go on. But Crash Bradley is not quick, so we're going to go ahead and flip it over, and we're going to go to the Duke of Whirl's specialty, which is, I need to pick it up to read it a little bit better. It's the Excalibur armbar for 2 points, so that's going to get him closer into the match. But does he have the cheat quality? He does not, and Crash Bradley is not quick, so we're just going to draw on here. TV move, this time they're both D's, and Duke of Whirl tries a cheap shot, but it comes out with no points, so nobody moves there. Grudge is going to go back to Bradley, 3 points for a crucifix power bomb, and that's going to get our first pin attempt, 11 to 43, since it's on the chip. And so we have just barely, Duke of Whirl kicks out at 1, but that's going to bring his grade down to an E for pin count purposes. So the next pinfall attempt for Crash Bradley could do the job here. And so the favorite category, yes, Crash Bradley's the favorite, and that's going to set him up for his big finisher. And the finisher is the head-on collision diving headbutt. 11 to 43 will get the job done as a 31. So that's 1, that is 2, and that is 3. And that is going to be a victory for Crash Bradley in this matchup here on Old School Wrestling today. Let's go to the post-match to see what happens. It is going to be a 4, so we're going to go to highlight reel X. And we will roll the 2 dice here, and it comes up with a 15. The winning wrestler boasts about the finisher. TV announcer objects. An argument ensues. So redefine finisher by rolling both dice and using the result as the new success range for the finisher. So I'm thinking the heel color commentator did not really like the headbutt. He thinks the headbutt's a stupid move to use as a finisher. It was 11 to 43. So what's the new finishing range going to be for Crash Bradley's headbutt? Ooh, it's only going to be 11 to 14. Ouch. Well, that's going to be a big disadvantage for Crash Bradley going into this match with the Big Grabowski at Initiation. But in any event, it's going to be changed from 11 to 43 to 11 to 14. But despite that, Crash Bradley is your winner here today on Old School Wrestling. And we will be back with more Old School Wrestling action right after this timeout. If you like what you see here, you can order your own copy of Face to the Mat by going to the PLAAY.com website. Face to the Mat Pro Wrestling game is available for sale.
And you can also get wrestling cards as well. I use the 70s WAF set for my federation, but they also have 80 stars, 90 stars, and they also have current wrestling stars that are based after real life professional wrestlers of today. And new card sets are made about every 2 years, so you can always keep your wrestling federation fresh. Once again, that's Face to the Mat from PLAAY.com. Order your copy today. All right, fans, it's time once again to close those shades as we are about ready to start another edition of the Ringside Lounge. And here is your host, Copacetic. So he is looking forward, we assume, to his guest this week. So let's see who his guest is going to be. It's going to be a 23, the winning wrestler from a match earlier in the show. Okay, so Crash Bradley is going to come back out on the set. Maybe he might have a chance to redeem himself, per se, after getting his finisher range really taken apart here. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and go to Highlight Reel Eye and see what happens there. And so we have a 21. Guest makes pithy comments about the current state of the Federation. He connects with fans and increases his TV grade 1 letter grade. So that's a little bit of redemption. Obviously, he was just still steaming mad about getting into an argument with the heel color commentator and basically is taking it out on the rest of the OSWA. And for that, he's really starting to grow his following here on Old School Wrestling. So his TV grade gets bumped up from a D to a C. So a little bit of redemption for the big setback that he suffered in our last segment. So that's it for this week's edition of the Ringside Lounge. We'll be back with more Old School Wrestling right after this timeout. And so Crash Bradley made a great showing for himself this week in Old School Wrestling, not only in the ring, but also on his Ringside Lounge segment. However, that chart result, which severely reduced his finisher range, may come back to haunt him at Initiation and in the future here in the OSWA. We'll just have to wait and see what happens there. Speaking of Initiation, again, our main event for Initiation is that steel cage match for the OSWA World Heavyweight Championship. Kevin Linton defends against the Lobster Man. We heard from Lobster Man earlier. Now let's hear some pre-recorded comments from our world champion, Kevin Linton, and his manager, the Blue Collar Mafia leader, Roger the Welder Elder.
Oh, Lobster Man. Lobster Man, do you actually think you have the upper hand on us just because you have Kevin Linton finally where you want him, inside of a steel cage? Oh, blah, 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 blah. You don't have anything. You actually believe you're going to become world champion? There are 1,000 reasons why that is not going to come to fruition, my friend. But instead of me spouting out about them, I'll just let my man, the champ, tell you about them himself. Thanks, Roger. So, Lobster Man, you're pathetic. You know that? You are pathetic to think that you could defeat me. You think the only reason why I have this belt is because of the Blue Collar Mafia? You don't even know the reason why I joined the Blue Collar Mafia. You see, I joined the Blue Collar Mafia because the Blue Collar Mafia are winners, and I'm a winner. Ever since I joined the Blue Collar Mafia, not only did I get this belt, but I got lots of money, I got lots of women, I got everything I could imagine for, all thanks to this man, Roger Elder. That's right, that's right. And nobody, especially not you, is ever going to take that away from me. You think you have me exactly where you want me? Really? So I agreed to this match. I didn't have to do it. No. See, Lobsterman, I have nothing more to prove to you. I have beaten you already. Not once, but twice. Okay? So this time is going to be no different. Because let's just face it, I'm better than you. And in the back of your mind, you know that. So you can keep telling yourself and telling yourself and telling yourself that things are going to be different this time. However, a great man, I believe his name was Albert Einstein, once said the definition of insanity was doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. That's you in a nutshell, Lobster Man. You keep going back to the well. You keep facing the steamroller. You think a different result's going to come up? But I got news for you, man. It's not. Because you see, when we get done in that cage and I bash your head into that steel and your blood gets spilled all over the mat and you're laying there, I will have my hand raised high in victory once again. I will keep my belt. My boys, Kanicki and Hammer, will beat those stupid hillbillies, and the blue-collar mafia will finally rule the OSWA. You can count on that. Don't forget, Initiation is our very next episode in the OSWA series, and it is coming soon. You can only see it on Imagisport, so make sure you subscribe to the Imagisport YouTube channel and turn on your notifications so you will know when OSWA Initiation is posted. Now, let's get back to the ring for some more old school wrestling action.
Our next bout here in Old School Wrestling is a tag team match, and it is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first team number 1, approaching the ring at this time. From Tuba City, Arizona, weighing at 245 pounds. This is Chief Wahoo. And his tag team partner is from Riyadh, Dubai, weighing in at 310 pounds. He is the Farouk of Fasha. This is Yafeni El Akid. And their opponents. First, from Beijing, China, weighing in at 215 pounds. This is the Chinese Bear, Quang Choi. And his partner is from Griffin, Georgia, 275 pounds, Steve America. Okay, so the 4 combatants are in the ring for this tag team match. Let's see what highlight reel we're going to go to, and it is going to be highlight reel, letter O. And it is a 23. The underdog wrestler, livid after opponent makes belittling comments, increased the wrestler's grudge grade 4 points. So Quang Choi, who has a high grudge grade as it is, and his partner, Steve America, they are really fed up with the shenanigans of the new Foreign Destruction team. So we have some very high grudge grades coming to both of these individuals. So we're going to add 4 points to each of their grudge grades there. Yafeni El Akid, surprisingly, does not want any part of Quang Choi to start the match off. He is going to give that opportunity to Chief Wahoo. Quang Choi says, bring it on, and we're going to start this match. And we're going to go to the wild card chart right away. So wild card for the tag team match. So ring matches, cage matches. There we go. Tag team. And dice roll here is going to be a 22. Is the wrestler cheat? Well, Wahoo, who is in the ring, does not have a cheat. So the match is stopped for a rules violation. And so loses a point as the opponent regroups. And so, well, there's no, it just started. So I guess we're going to give him a -1 there and just move on. So with the favorite category. So I guess, I don't know. I guess Kwang Choi would be the recipient of that since it wasn't his favor the last time. So we're going to give him the favorite quality here and give him 2 points as they really start off on a house of fire. So let's see if there is a tag. There is not. And so we will move on. Signature move for Kwang Choi. And again, I need to bring it closer to me so I can see what it is here. It is the Chin Zhao spinning heel kick for 2 points. And we move on. And we go to the strong category. Kwang Choi is strong. Chief Wahoo is, we're going to assume that he's strong on a circle. So basically, he's going to get the 3 points because he is the trailing wrestler here with the cradle pile driver. Let's check for a tag. And actually, it is going to be a double team. So they're going to get another point. And then Yefeni Al-Aki is going to take advantage. And he's going to come in. And so is Yefeni heavy? Yes, he is. So that's another point. And so let's see if a tag is made here. It is not. We will move on. Uh-oh, we have ourselves a ref bump. So we're going to go to highlight reel K for this one. And who knows what is going to happen here. So highlight reel K coming up. And so we're going to go ahead and roll the dice here, and it's a 25. Hotbox Foe, the favored wrestler, takes over as ref, and the underdog wrestler benefits. So the benefiting wrestler will score double points on any scoring move from the fact, long count when pinned, which is 5 kick-out rolls instead of 3, short count when pinning opponent, only 1 kick-out roll, and may use cheat results if desired. Oh boy. And so who is the foe? It is none other than Colonel Union taking over as the referee. So how about that? So with that in mind, here we go. And we're going to go to the highlight reel. So we will do odd for A, even for B, and it is evens. We're going to go to highlight reel B. This match has gone out of control real quick here. So we have our chart at highlight reel B. And it's going to be a 65. Wrestler suffers a real or a fake injury, can't continue the match, opponent awarded decision. So El Akid is crying wolf here, and you know what he's saying? He's grasping at his shoulder, and he's saying that it hurts. He's taking Chief Wahoo with him. They're leaving. They're getting out of Dodge. And so with that in mind, ref's going to call for the bell here. And so your winners of this match, Colonel Union raises the hands of Kwang Choi and Steve America as your winners. And how's that going to fare? As you recall in Initiation, there's going to be single matches. Kwang Choi is going to take on Yefeni El-Akid, and Steve America will take on Chief Wahoo. The fans are really screaming and crying. They just they don't know what happened here. Neither do we. But what we can tell you is that Kwang Choi and Steve America are your winners in this match. So with that, our main event is next. But first, these messages. You're watching Old School Wrestling right here on Imagisport. And what a finish we had to that one. Very crazy to say the least. Yefeni El-Akid claiming injury and basically retreating to the back with Chief Wahoo, giving Kwang Choi and Steve America the count-out victory. And there was so much happening there that we were unable to show you the post-match roll on camera. So we did it off camera. And the post-match roll there was a 16 on Highlight Reel X, which reads like this. The winning wrestler gets angry after the opponent makes excuses that call the wrestler's ability into question. Increase the wrestler's grudge grade 2 points. So not only did Yefeni El Akid and Chief Wahoo turn their tails and run, but Akid still had some scathing words for the two of them, which just made Kwang Choi and Steve America even angrier. So both Kwang Choi and Steve America got their grudge grades increased by 2 points each, which makes them to pretty much the highest grudge grade ratings in the entire roster so far. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to pan out with these single matches coming up at Initiation. Yefeni El Akid and Kwang Choi are scheduled to meet in a no DQ match, but now that's going to be called into question. We're going to have to see how serious this injury is for Yefeni El Akid. But speaking of Initiation, remember, tag team belts are on the line as well. Good Old Boys will take on Nick Kanicki and Dan Hammer. And so they're all part of this six-man match, which is our main event. So let's not wait anymore. Let's go to the ring right now and get to that contest. And ladies and gentlemen, this is your Old School Wrestling main event. It is a six-man tag team match, and it is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, team number one from Pittsburgh, Vermont, weighing in at 295 pounds. This is the Green Mountain Boy, Gaylord T. Goode. And his tag team partners are the current OSWA World Tag Team Champions. They hail from Sparksville, Indiana, and Tulsa, Oklahoma, respectively. Total combined weight, 570 pounds. These are the Good Old Boys. And their opponents are being led to the ring by their leader, Roger the Welder Elder. Introducing first, representing the Blue Collar Mafia, from South Toledo, Ohio, weighing in at 300 pounds, this is Nick Kanicki. And his partner is from Beardsley, Georgia, 285 pounds, Dan Hammer. And their partner is from Deer Park, Texas, 280 pounds, Roughneck Ron Cassidy. Well, very reluctantly, Roughneck Ron comes out with Kanicki and Hammer. As you remember from our last show, the commissioner ordered Roughneck Ron to team with Nick Kanicki, and that brought up this six-man tag team match. So let's see what's going to happen pre-match. We're going to go to Highlight Reel O. And in that highlight reel, it is going to be a 22. So we're going to go to Highlight Reel, letter P. And it's a 63. Choice wrestler gets into an argument with commissioner on TV and loses. Decrease the wrestler's TV grade 1 letter. Well, that's going to be easy. Roughneck Ron is arguing that he shouldn't even be out here in this match. And the commissioner says, nope, you're going to do it. So Roughneck Ron, it's going to be demoted to an A from a double A. So I'll take care of that. And in this part of it, we're going to see who's going to start off first. And then we'll be back with our tag team match. All right, it's going to be Nick Kanicki starting for the Mafia team, Haystack Hills. It's going to start for the champs. And so we're ready to go. And so our first quality is going to be agile. Haystack Hills is agile, but only on a square. That's not going to work here. Nick Kanicki's not agile, so we're going to go to help. Everybody is helped in this regard. So we're just going to go ahead and go to the G chart. So here we are, highlight reel G, and roll the dice gives us a 13. Opponent tosses wrestler from the ring. Gang members toss opponent from the ring. Match continues in the spectator area. Double all point totals from fast action cards rest of the match. So already this has been a Donnybrook, and this has just gone completely out of control. So now we're going to go to smart. Kanicki is smart. Haystacks Hill is not. It's double points, so it's 6 points right here. So let's see if we have some sort of a tag. Yes, we do. And so in comes Dan Hammer. And we're going to draw again. And now we're going to go to Agile. Hammer is not Agile, though. So we're going to flip the deck around and go to Powerful. Haystacks Hill is not Powerful. Let's see if anybody will tag here. Well, nobody scored, so we're not going to have a tag. Excuse me on that. But we're going to go back to Helped. And so this time, though, Haystacks Hill makes a comeback as Gaylord T. Goode and Ray Ed Hargis help them out a little bit. Again, we have the double points coming here. And so let's see about a tag this time. Yes, there is a tag. Haystack Hills comes out. And Ray Ed Hargis comes in. So with that, well, we'll go to Grudge Grade. Hammer's got a 1. Ray Ed's got a 4. So Ray Ed has the edge here. So it's going to be 4 points instead of 2, because remember that double point rule for a thump slam. So let's see about a tag this time. And yes, and in for the first time in an OSWA ring comes Gaylord T. Goode. Oh, and we're going to go back to Help, and we are going to go back to the G chart for this. And it's going to be a 31. Ring damaged. Its gang member throws opponent out of the ring. And we're going to restart the match as a grudge match. Uh-oh. So hold on, everybody. Hold on. We do have a grudge match here. So with the grudge match, we need to roll the dice. It is a 3. And yes, it's going to be a hardcore match, which means no disqualification. So the referee's throwing everything out here. And so we're going to restart things back up. We're going to restart the match, but this time there are going to be no rules. And what do you know? We go to the wild card chart. So I guess since this is a no disqualification match now, that we're going to go to the hardcore match chart, and things have entirely broken down here. Let's see, 21. Is the wrestler a favorite? Well, Dan Hammer is not a favorite, so the match is halted as wrestlers argue on the PA microphone. Increase the grudge grade, D6 points for each wrestler, and we're going to roll separately. So Hammer's going to up his 3, and Gaylord T. Goode is going to up his 1. So we'll go 4 here, and we'll take this back to -1. And so we're going to go ahead and pause the video to roll for the other participants, and then we will be right. And things have gone completely out of control here. Let's go to our next one. It is Powerful. Hammer is Powerful. Goode is, but only on a square. So it is a submission. So wrestler scores 1 point. Well, it's actually 2 because of the doubles until everybody breaks out. Let's see. Goode is strong, though, so 1 to 4 is going to have him break the hold, and he does break the hold there. So only 2 points given for that. And no tag, though, so we move on here, and we go back to Grudge. And Grudge this time is going to go to Dan Hammer. So we have 3 times 2. That's 6 points for the atomic drop. And let's see if we are going to have a tag here. Nope, no tag. So Hammer and Goode are going to stay in the ring, and we go to heavy. Hammer is heavy, and so is Goode, so it's going to go to the underdog. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points there for a big splash. And let's see if Gaylord T. Goode can make the tag, and he does, to Ray Ed Hargis, who comes in for his first whiff of actual in-ring action. So now we go to the favorite category. Ray Ed is a favorite, and Hammer is not. So now we're going to have a D6, but only 2, 1 times 2 there, for a second rope fist drop. And so we'll see if there is a tag. There is. And Haystacks Hill goes back into the fray. Hill and Hammer, your 2 in-ring combatants. Whoop,
back to the wild card chart. And so this time, since last time we did the hardcore, but it is a tag team match, so let's go to tag team this time. Try to get some semblance of order here. All right, and it goes to a 22. Is it a cheat? Yes, hammer is a cheat. Rules violation, unseen by referee. Wrestler scores 2 points. But then we have a double, so there is going to be a pinfall here, 11-43, since it is on a chip. But Haystacks Hill kicks out at 1. So let's see if there is a tag for that. Yes, there is. And, they're tagging in Roughneck Ron here. Roughneck Ron doesn't necessarily want to be in this match, but he's going to be, whether he likes it or not. And wait a minute, though. The Roughneck Ron, he's just going to tag out and tag Nick Kanicki back in. I think we're going to have some feud brewing there. So we're going to have a specialty, and the specialty is going to go to the underdog this time, Haystacks Hill, a hay baler suplex slam for 3 points. And so, but we double it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's on a pin without a chip. So that goes to Nick Kanicki's TV grade, which is an A, 11-33 he needs to get in order to kick out. So there's 1, and there is 2, and Ubby just barely kicks out at 2.5, so the match will continue. So with that in mind, no tag here. Hill and Kanicki are still in the ring. That argument is proven to be costly, but let's see what happens here. We have heavy as a quality. Hill is heavy, but only on a circle, and we are on a square for him. Nick Kanicki is heavy anywhere, so guess what? It's going to be 2 times 2, and we got the finisher. Nick Kanicki is going to have his finishing move put on. It's the nuts and bolts knee bar, and so what we need here, and I'm just going to double check just to make sure I see this correctly, it is 11-26. 11-26 is going to get the job done, and it is a 14, and so the knee bar is in place, and we have the shoulders to the mat here, 1, 2, and 3, and that is it. And your winners of the 6-man tag team war here are Nick Kanicki, Dan Hammer, and Roughneck Ron, although Roughneck Ron really didn't see any action, but we'll see how that pans out here in the future on Old School Wrestling. But Kanicki has pinned 1/2 of the World Tag Team Champions. So we'll see how that plays out when we join you for our next show here at Initiation. But let's go ahead and go to the post-match, and for that, we're going to go to Highlight Reel X. So here we are at Highlight Reel X, and our dice roll is a 13. The winning wrestler gets overconfident, decrease the wrestler's grudge grade by 1 point. So Kanicki and Hammer and Roughneck Ron, to an extent, are going to lose 1 point off of their grudge grades, and I will take care of that off camera. So your winners of our main event in the 6-man, Kanicki, Hammer, and Roughneck Ron are your victors over the Good Old Boys and Gaylord T. Goode. Now let's go back to the studio for a wrap-up of today's episode.
And what a main event that was. Once again, the Blue Collar Mafia get their hand raised in victory as they defeat the tag team champions in the middle of the ring. So love them or hate them, the Blue Collar Mafia are definitely the hottest thing going in the OSWA right now. Could they control the OSWA in a sense and have all the championships when Initiation is over? We'll just have to wait and find out. Speaking of Initiation, before we go off the air, let's give you a full rundown of what the Initiation card is going to look like. We're going to kick things off with Hammer and Hank McPhee taking on Croc Wilson. Both of them are continuing to try to climb up the ladder and make names for themselves here in the OSWA. You will see them in our opening contest. Sergeant Slash and Colonel Union, they're a tag team trying to work their way up the ranks. They are going to be taking on a team that has been struggling as of late, them being the Boomdogs. That should be an interesting matchup there. As we mentioned earlier, Chief Wahoo, one of the members of Yefeni Alakeed's Anti-American Crusade, he's going to be taking on Steve America one-on-one. Hopefully, Steve America will be able to maybe get some of the American values back into Chief Wahoo. We don't know. We'll have to see what happens there. Crash Bradley finally gets his chance at the Big Grabowski after many, many weeks. We saw Grabowski earlier tonight. It looks like he's ready to go and he's medically cleared. That ought to be a good one. Then we have a triple threat match. It originally was supposed to be a singles match between Roughneck Ron Cassidy and the man called Z, but based on what happened in our main event with Roughneck Ron not being too cooperative with the Blue Collar Mafia, Roger the Welder Elder went backstage to the commissioner and they struck another deal. So now Mr. Everything is going to be part of this, and it is now going to be a triple threat match between Roughneck Ron Cassidy, the man called Z, and Mr. Everything. No disqualification match will be at Initiation between the two former partners, Yefeni Alakeed and Kwang Choi. Again, no disqualification. Falls count anywhere in the OSWA studio. So, but, you know, this match is in question now. Is Yefeni Alakeed's injury real? Did he make it up so he could get out of wrestling tonight? Again, we're not going to know until Initiation, so be sure that you tune in. Finally, our title matches. The World Tag Team titles will be on the line. The Good Old Boys, Rayad Hargis and Haystack Hill, they'll be defending their belts against the Blue Collar Mafia team of Nick Kanicki and Dan Hammer. And of course, Roger Elder will be accompanying them to the ring. And then finally, the main event, the OSWA World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Inside the confines of a 15-foot high steel cage, the champion, Kevin the Steamroller Linton, will take on the Lobster Man, Jeff Costa. That is Initiation, and it'll be our next episode in the Old School Wrestling Association series. The only way that you're going to see Initiation is right here on the Magisport. So if you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe to the Magisports YouTube channel, get those notifications so that you will know when Initiation will be posted. And that's going to do it for Old School Wrestling today. From all of us here at the OSWA and Magisport, this is Derek Jones saying thank you once again for watching. Keep playing your games. Have a great rest of your day. And most of all, keep on rolling. Bye-bye.